Hi, boys and girls, it's Miss Bowen. Here's our art project for the week. It's dinosaurs, but these are not just any dinosaurs. These are 3D dinosaurs that can stand up all on their own. I want you to imagine Legos or Kinects or any sort of toy that you've played with before where the pieces connect together. They sort of lock tightly and stay put. What we're going to try to do with this 3D dinosaur is make the different pieces, the bodies and the arm, and make it so that they can connect together and hopefully stand all on their own. I was looking at a special artist this week who gave me the idea for these dinosaurs. His name is Brian Youngin. He is a sculptor, which means his artwork is not flat like a drawing or a painting, but it's three-dimensional. It can be round, it has sides all over, top, bottom, right and left, and it's something that you could pick up. Now these are sculptures that are very large. And what's special about Brian Youngin's sculptures is he uses them out of unusual materials and materials that maybe some people might even throw away, but he does what we call reuse, and he uses these objects to make artwork. Take a look at that giant turtle shell. Can you see that the giant turtle shell is made out of recycling bins or garbage bins? The three animals in the corner, the emu, the shark, and the alligator, those are all actually made out of luggage or suitcases. He cuts them apart and reattaches them to look like animals. What he's most famous for is this sculpture right here. And it's a dinosaur fossil that's made out of lawn chairs, plastic lawn chairs. If you look at some of the pictures, you might even be able to see closely the arms and the legs of those plastic chairs. But he cuts them apart to look like bones of a dinosaur. So I was thinking this week, why don't we use some unusual materials ourselves, recyclable or reusable materials, and create our own dinosaur fossils? To get ready for this project, you will need the following. Some sort of cardboard, a cereal box would probably be the best. A pencil or marker, scissors, glue. This week for this project, you want liquid glue, which isn't like a glue stick, it's drippy and droopy. That will give us the best hold for our project. And you'll also need Q-tips. Here's a look at the cardboard I found in my house. Again, you'll see that cereal box, but if you can't find a cereal box, I'm sure there's other cardboard that you might have. Like I have show here, there's a popsicle box or a soda can box. What you're first going to do is take that box apart, and you only need one side of the box. Next thing you need to do is decide which dinosaur are you going to create. Do you want it to be like a T-Rex, a Stegosaurus, a Brachiosaurus? And I want you to start thinking before we even start making our project, what kind of shapes would you need to make the body of this dinosaur? In the corner, I put some good ideas to think about for body parts and the shapes. An oval head, a semicircle body, triangle tail, and then you'll see that the legs look sort of like an arch or a rainbow or an upside down U shape. We'll be getting into how to make that shape later on. So think about which dinosaur are you going to make. The other thing to keep in mind before you start drawing is draw big. If you look in these pictures, I have dinosaurs drawn, but they're at least as big as a hand. So keep your drawing nice and big. Tiny, tiny drawings will be hard to put together in a 3D way. You're first going to draw your dinosaur on that cardboard. These pictures show that I have not added the legs yet, but I did add two short lines where I will be putting the legs together when I attach them on there. When you draw your dinosaur, keep in mind those simple, easy shapes. Where would you put an oval head? What shape would the neck look like? A triangle tail? The body, you could use a semicircle, but what direction is that semicircle going? Is it upside down? Is it sideways? And then are there any other extra details to put on your dinosaur, like the plates on a Stegosaurus? Okay, so I have some pictures here to show you how I drew the shape of the legs. If you look at the bottom, they have a thumb there, and I drew a curved line above it. This is what you can do on your cardboard. Put your thumb down on the cardboard, draw a curved line above it, an arched line or a rainbow line. Then move above that line and draw a bigger arch or rainbow line. And at the bottom of the two lines, connect them together with a straight line. This gives you a shape to your arch instead of just one line. You will need to draw two arches for the dinosaur's legs, two separate ones. And if you look very, very closely, there's a very small line at the top of both arches. That's for later when we want to attach our legs. Okay, now you want to do your best job cutting and cut out the dinosaur's body and cut out the two sets of legs separately. Try your best to cut on your lines. Try your best to cut everything out in one piece. If for some reason the head falls off or the tail falls off and your dinosaur isn't in one piece, then you could always tape or glue it back together. But you do want the legs to be separate pieces. We're going to get ready to stand up our dinosaur. So you need to fold the legs so there's little feet at the bottom. I just do a little pinch fold on each side of the arch or rainbow shape that you drew for the legs. Now this picture shows where you want to make small cuts on your dinosaur's body and on the dinosaur's legs. And these small cuts are so that you can attach and put your dinosaur together, kind of like connects. What you want to do here is you want to take the cut on the legs and slide it into the cut on the dinosaur's body. And when those cuts slide together, your legs should stay in place. You might have to play around with it a little bit when you put both sets of the legs on. And usually you can get to a certain point where your dinosaur will stand all on its own. Maybe it takes a little more folding on the feet. Maybe you're balancing your dinosaur on the tail like the T-Rex. It will get there the more that you slide the cardboard together and adjust the legs. If you look here, there's two sides to the dinosaur. There's the plain brown side from the cardboard, and then there's the colorful side. You could think of the colorful side as the front of the dinosaur, and then the brown cardboard side as the back of the dinosaur. Now, an extra step that you could take for your dinosaur project is to make a fossil side. Fossils happen when living things from millions of years ago left imprints in the ground or left their bones behind. Those remainings were turned into rock that eventually ended up looking like bones or fossils. So you can see in this picture, there's the fossil that looks like the bones, or sometimes fossils were more like an impression, like the footprints at the bottom. Let's start thinking about what the dinosaur bones look like in the fossils. The bones should follow the shape of the dinosaur's body. Let's test ourselves here. Can you match the dinosaur fossils to the actual dinosaur? Okay, so thinking about reusable materials, we've already used cardboard and reused it as artwork. Now I was thinking of making bones out of something that most everybody has in their house, Q-tips. What I did was I cut Q-tips into smaller pieces and I glued them on the back of my dinosaur to look like the fossils or the bones of the dinosaur. It can be a little bit tricky to cut the Q-tips, so you might want to hold your Q-tips over a big bowl because if they kind of fling to the side, then the bowl will catch them. You'll want to make sure you're being careful and keeping track of all your Q-tips. You probably don't want smaller pieces laying around, especially if you have pets. It wouldn't be good for them to get a hold of it. So keep track of your pieces and try to pick them up as you go when you're trying to cut them smaller. And I cut a few different sizes, some larger ones and some smaller ones. And what I did first when I started to glue the Q-tips was I made the backbone first to go down the neck and the back of the body. Then I added in smaller pieces of Q-tip to look more like the ribs or the vertebrae of the back and the neck. And then I added some bones to the legs. So you can play around with how you want your bones to look or your fossils. And you might even think of some other materials to try for this. Like you could probably cut up straws or pipe cleaners. It doesn't have to be Q-tips. And voila, there is your 3D dinosaur with a front colorful side and a back fossilized side. Play around with it and maybe you can add even more details to your dinosaur. Thanks for watching this week and thank you for participating. Stay tuned. More projects next week.